What if one ordinary young woman held the fate of an entire nation in her hands without even knowing it? What if the most powerful king on earth chose his queen not because of politics, not because of wealth, but because of a single moment that seemed almost insignificant? And what if the greatest battle of her life was fought not with swords, but with silence? This is the story of Esther, a story of courage hidden behind beauty, of power hidden behind humility, and of a decision that would change history forever. Long before Esther's name was remembered across generations, the Persian Empire stretched farther than most people could imagine. From the warm valleys of India to the distant borders of Kush, more than 127 provinces answered to a single ruler. His name was King Ahasuerus, known in history by many scholars as Xerxes I. His palace stood in Susa, one of the greatest royal cities of the ancient world. Its massive stone columns rose toward the sky like forests carved from marble. Walls shimmered with colorful glazed bricks. Gardens overflowed with cypress trees, fragrant flowers, and flowing channels of fresh water that cooled the desert air. Gold decorated almost everything. Golden cups, golden lamps, golden furniture. The wealth of Persia was not simply displayed, it was celebrated. Every visitor who entered the royal palace understood one thing immediately. The king possessed enough power to change thousands of lives with a single sentence. One spring, King Ahasuerus decided the empire should witness his greatness. For 180 days, nobles, military commanders, governors, and princes filled the royal courts. Every feast was larger than the last, every banquet more magnificent. The palace echoed with music played on harps, flutes, and drums. Servants hurried across polished stone floors, carrying silver trays piled high with roasted lamb, fresh figs, dates, pomegranates, sweet cakes, and jars of fragrant wine. Silk curtains of white and violet swayed gently between marble columns. The air itself seemed scented with cedarwood and myrrh. For the king, the celebration was more than entertainment. It was a declaration of power. The empire was prosperous. Its ruler wanted everyone to remember who had made it so. When the months of celebration finally came to an end, the king prepared one final feast. This banquet would last 7 days. Unlike the earlier celebrations reserved for nobles, this one welcomed people from every level of society living in Susa. The wealthy, the craftsmen, the soldiers, even servants. Everyone was invited to witness the glory of Persia. The Book of Esther describes the splendor in remarkable detail. There were white cotton curtains and violet hangings fastened with cords of fine linen and purple to silver rods and marble pillars. There were couches of gold and silver on a mosaic pavement. Esther 1:6. The description is more than decoration. It reminds us that earthly kingdoms often measure greatness by what can be seen. But history is rarely changed by gold. It is changed by choices. While the king entertained his guests, Queen Vashti hosted a separate banquet for the women of the royal palace. Little is known about Vashti beyond this moment. History remembers her because of one decision, a decision no one expected. As the 7th day of feasting drew to its close, wine had loosened the tongues of many guests. The king, filled with pride, wished to display one final treasure before the assembled crowd. Not another jewel, not another golden vessel. His queen. Messengers hurried through the palace, carrying the royal command. Queen Vashti was to appear before the guests, wearing her royal crown, so that all might admire her beauty. The order seemed simple, yet within moments the messengers returned. The queen had refused. The words spread across the palace like fire through dry grass. Refused? The queen had refused the king? Conversation stopped. Musicians lowered their instruments. Even the servants exchanged uneasy glances. In the Persian court, disobeying the king was almost unimaginable. No one knew what would happen next, but everyone understood. The silence that followed would change far more than one woman's future.